And welcome back to High Stakes MMA. We're here to break down this weekend's UFC 263 Izzy versus Vettori fight card. This is a stack card. Can't wait to get to it. The real main event, Nate Diaz versus Edwards. It's going to be stacked top to bottom. First off, we have Felipe taking on Jake Collier. For Carlos, the Brazilian, coming in 10-1. And Jake Collier on the other side here is 12-5. So starting off with Carlos for the brawler. Felipe, he's coming in on a 2-fight win streak after his loss to Spivak on Fight Island. He had a narrow win against Tafa in what was a war back in January. With 6 of his 10 wins coming by knockout. Felipe has much more power. He's very durable. We have seen we've seen in the Tafa fight. I mean, he keeps coming forward. He can take shots. I think Jake may be able to take the lead early on, but look for Felipe to turn up the pressure and turn this into a dogfight late, and probably going to get the victory here. For on the other side for Collier, he's 6'3", so he has a 3-inch height advantage on him. Also a 3-inch reach advantage as well. From moving, he was a middleweight at one time. Then he moved up to light heavyweight, and he beat Fontana. He returned back to the UFC as a heavyweight, and then I think he lost to, was it Tom Aspinall, I believe it was?
Yeah, Aspinall, the budding heavyweight superstar
right.
coming up.
Yeah, and then he had a successful outing last against overweight Vellante to even up his UFC record. But he is coming in as the bigger man in this fight. Like I mentioned, both height and reach. But he also has decent striking, a good gas tank for a big guy. But beating Felipe is a whole nother ball game, and he, and he just beating an overweight Vellante. He was real sluggish in that fight as well. Just doesn't do it for me. And I think Felipe is just a dog, and I think he's going to come out and get the victory.
Yeah, when we first seen Jake come back on the scene, and him being a heavyweight, when the man came out with a sweater on, didn't even bother to take his shirt off or get weighed without it, with his shirt off. We already knew what the business was. He was coming in for a check. The surprising thing was that he came back and looked in a little bit better shape and fought a little bit better. But again, his opponent was John Vellante, who is in his own right. I don't even think he's with the UFC anymore. And if he is, it's only because of Steep or Weidman or one of those guys. Yeah. But yeah, he beat Vellante, and that's pretty much where we draw the line at. Other than that, man, his skills in the fight, it wasn't nothing impressive. He's pretty much, I would say, a shell of his former self, but he's actually an oversized, just an oversized, more unathletic person than he was before. And it's just, it's not a good look for him. I look to just fade this guy anytime I see him now, just because, he's not taking it fully serious. When he was serious, the man had abs, man was chiseled, he was in, great shape. He would come out, be able to go off 15 minutes hard and whatnot, and even had some solid wins under his belt. But ever since he came back as a heavyweight, it's just, just got knocked out really quick by Tom Aspinall, who's a great fighter in his own right, which Tom should have got him out of there super fast. And then he just had that win over Vellante, which it was nothing spectacular. You know what I mean? If Vellante won one of those rounds, he would have probably won the fight. Who knows? So yeah, nothing high on Collier at all, and he's already 32 years old. So you would think that he'd be in this prime of his life right now, and more in shape, but it's kind of the opposite.
Yeah, he's more on the downhill.
Yeah, and on the flip side with Carlos, 26 years old, and he's more of a true heavyweight. And like you said on his last fight, coming off of a potential fight of the year candidate with Justin Tafa, people were talking about, and yeah, man, he won a split decision. Some people think it was a controversial decision, but I thought he did enough to get the win. And before that, he got a win over Yorgan De Castro. And De Castro was coming in hot off that one. He believed he had a knockout win coming into that one, and people were riding pretty high with him. I believe Felipe was an underdog in that spot too, and he came out there and cashed as a underdog and got the decision. Before that, his only loss in the UFC was to Sergey Spivak, and Spivak showing that he's a decent fighter himself. He did have a hiccup in his first fight, but that seems like a common theme with most of these guys. Might be if it's UFC jitters or whatnot. But Spivak's shown that he's a great fighter. He's come out there ever since and rattled off a few wins. And looking back, it doesn't look like that bad of a loss. And it was a decision loss, so it wasn't like he went out there and got finished. So for me, I'm pretty confident in this one. I'm taking Felipe. I don't know what the odds are. We haven't even looked at them yet.
They got I got him here. They got Carlos Felipe at -170 and Jake Collier at +140. So yeah, I mean.
It's not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. I like Felipe a lot in this fight. I think he should get it done. I do believe it'll probably go to the judges, go to the distance on that. I don't know if he's going to be able to stop him, which he very well might be.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think Collier got a little bit of fold in him. If he gets any pressure, like anybody that's going to come out here like Felipe will.
Five of his losses all came by TKO. So that's 3 of his 5 losses came by TKO. So he does get finished.
Yeah.
And Felipe, 6 of his 10 wins come by knockout. I can see these big boys, going at it hard in the start, and and then kind of tailing off towards the end and probably going to decision. But I don't really see how Carlos don't outstrike him.
I think he outpaces him from the beginning of the fight till the end of the fight, and that pressure is going to make Collier fold eventually. And yeah, you know what? I think he is more alive for a finish. And looking at the under on this one, under 2.5 plus 135, over 2.5 minus 165. That under doesn't look too bad, man. Seeing that these guys have been finished, Jake Collier has been finished, and Felipe has a lot of finishes under his belt. I would probably make a look at that, but for sure I like Felipe just straight.
All right, so we're both on Felipe on the first fight of the night. They're going to start off with the big boys, so we're going to see some action early. This is a stacked card, man. Hopefully it all stays intact.